My name is Kathy Wisser. I am an associate professor at the School of Library and Information Science at Simmons University, and I am the chair of the archives concentration there. That's two of the hats that I wear at Simmons. And as with many good ideas, this one came from Daniel Pitti a couple of years ago, and unfortunately it was a couple of years ago. He approached me about exploring the idea of using SNAC as a pedagogical platform. I have done a lot of collaboration with SNAC over the many years when it was a research project all the way through. And I actually chaired the working group that formed EAC-CPF, which is the back end infrastructure of SNAC data. So I'm always intrigued and interested in kind of what's coming next and what are the next exciting things that we can do in this space, and where SNAC is now is really, it sort of floors me, how wonderful it is. So when Daniel approached me, he was very interested in ways in which we could enhance the presence of different groups of people that aren't necessarily as prevalent in the SNAC data world. And so I gave that a lot of thought and spent some time thinking, well, you know, which populations are present in SNAC. I had a research assistant who actually spent a lot of time exploring SNAC and kind of documenting various groups, but it really felt like, you know, what am I going to do if I'm going to just pick names out of a hat and say, let's create SNAC records for these people? And what I eventually landed on is connecting it to real collections at real repositories, so that we could make that connection, you know, have the people that we're going to be representing come from real collections. And it just made it feel much more grounded. So the idea is to recruit students at SLIS to generate SNAC records. And that would be able to direct records creating for specific populations and connect them to collections. It would provide students with concrete experience to contribute to a live project. So not just an exercise that doesn't go anywhere, but something that they actually produce. And it allows them also to have evidence that they can point to show potential employers, and engage in some interesting and unresolved areas of description, which I'm very involved in from a research perspective, which is identity management and representation. I will say that I had a significant amount of success, particularly engaging students with a concrete experience and contribution to a live project, and also evidence of their work to show potential employers when we converted all of the Simmons University finding aids to EAD around 2011 to 2013 on a project. I had students who volunteered, they encoded away to a template, and published those finding aids, and the students' names are on all of those finding aids that they encoded, so they can actually point to a product and say, see, here's what I can do. So I thought that this was a great way to do it in SNAC as well. So it took me a while to find a good partner, but I have found a great partner. I am going to be working with UMass Lowell, which is the University of Massachusetts in Lowell, Massachusetts. One of the things that UMass Lowell does, which I think is really interesting, one of their collecting missions is to document all of the populations in Lowell, Massachusetts. It's the Lowell History Center, and they spend a lot of time documenting populations in Lowell, Massachusetts. So the project that we settled on as being the first project is, I have it pulled up. Hang on, I apologize. There it is. And let me see if I can just share my screen here. The one that we're going to start off with is the Southeast Asian Digital Archive. And this is an archive that has been created to document the Southeast Asian Americans that have lived and immigrated to Lowell, Massachusetts. And what I like about this is it's very inclusive of the notion of Southeast Asia. And so it documents people from a wide variety of Southeast Asian countries and their descendants as well. And so we settled on this. Can anybody see my screen, the Southeast Asian Digital Archive?
Yes, we can see everything perfectly.
Okay, terrific. So we settled on that collection first because it was a significant initiative by a scholar at UMass Lowell that I will be working with. And she was very connected to the community. One of the most important things I think about this sort of initiative is that we can't do it without engaging in the community that we're going to be creating representations for. So that was the basic idea. Now, how am I going to do this? Well, I work in an academic institution, so getting a course on the books is not all that easy. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, but doing an independent study with a group of students is. So I am going to pilot a kind of special independent study in which I'm going to recruit 3 students, because I'm just doing, this is the first time I'm doing it, so I don't want to overreach and kind of get 8 students and then I can't manage it. So I'm going to recruit 3 students for the spring 2023 semester that are really interested in kind of advances in archival description. I teach the basic archival arrangement and description course every semester. And of course, I talk about SNAC because, you know, it's a great resource. And the course is actually called Archival Access and Use. So SNAC is an access service. So I teach that every semester, but we don't have the opportunity in that course to go into some advanced topics, which I really think that this sort of identity representation and reparative description work is kind of the next frontier. So I'm going to recruit 3 students. We're going to get to know the repository. So we're going to go out to UMass Lowell and talk to the folks that work at UMass Lowell History Center about the collection. We're going to hopefully meet the scholar who was the driver behind creating the Southeast Asian Digital Archive and learn about the community as well. I'm going to develop, based on all that wonderful SNAC school stuff, some training on the SNAC platform for the students. And then we're going to do an in-depth examination of all SNAC policies so that we can understand this description work in the context of a larger community, of which I think SNAC is, and all of the work that's come before in terms of decision making and that sort of thing. We want to make sure that the students understand that this sort of work is not done kind of in a non, you know, what am I trying to say? Making sure that we're doing it in the context of being members of this community SNAC, meaning that we follow all the policies that have been established, and also potentially provide some feedback to Beth and her group if there's policies that don't make sense or something like that. We're also going to be engaging over the course of the semester in the scholarship around identity representation and reparative description work, so that we can continue to kind of stretch our own understandings of what that really means and what needs to happen. We are going to, you know, look at what is in SNAC in terms of the population that is represented in this collection, the Southeast Asian Digital Archive. If there are any records in there that need editing, we would certainly do that and pay attention to that. But then we will also create original records over the course of the semester for people who are represented in the Southeast Asian Digital Archive. As the instructor, and this was one of the things that Daniel and I really talked about when we were initially considering this idea, I would then be the editor of the records rather than putting more pressure on the group of editors that there are. So I've attended SNAC school, I think like 3 times at least, so that I can make sure that I understand what the standards are and what needs to be attended to. And obviously I work very closely with Jerry and Dina as well to make sure that I'm not doing anything amiss. And then at the end of the semester, the students and I will go back out to UMass Lowell and we're going to present they're going to be able to present the work that they did to the UMass Lowell folks so that they can really see the fruit of the labor. The nice thing about this partnership with UMass Lowell is also that they have other kind of groups that they have also collected on and collect that document populations in Lowell. So if we do well with Southeast Asian group, there's also a Portuguese American group out there, and they have a rising Latinx population that they're trying to document as well. So it does kind of give us something to grab onto that is really a nice strategy, hopefully, but we'll see when I'm piloting this. So I'm hoping that it'll work. And of course, there will be lots of times of reflection for students over the course of the semester. I'm really seeing this as kind of creating a little team to explore this. That's what I'm doing. I tend to talk really fast, so I apologize for that, particularly when I'm nervous. So does anybody have any questions or ideas? I'd love to hear ideas as well. And if you have ideas later, you can just email me at Wisser Simmons.edu. I'll put my email address in the chat. Simmons.edu, but I'm happy to entertain any questions or ideas or thoughts now.
Thanks, Kathy. If anyone has questions for Kathy and the work she's doing with SNAC at Simmons University, please do speak up or chat it in if you'd prefer.
I just want to say thank you, Jerry, for letting me come and talk about this project, and I look forward to hearing from anybody who has any ideas.
Thank you again, Kathy.